So I'm nostalgic for all these movies, which is why I'm reviewing them. Just getting that out of the way. Let's go! If you don't know, these are movies about kids that become spies. Now you're caught up. The thing about all these movies is that they have a really good sense of adventure and they have this charm to them. They all capture this sense of childlike adventure. So much of this movie feels like it was made by kids. I think Robert Rodriguez just has a good way of tapping into a childlike mindset with his kids' movies, or his older kids' movies, I should say, because his new ones look like crap. But I'll get into that. The main villain's name, his name is Fagin Floop. You see what I mean? It's like a child made it. But mostly in a good way. I like the fact that it feels like childlike. Some of the editing is weird. You know, it's just content to be a fun time for kids. It is the epitome of it knows what it is as a movie. I think the low budget also helps. It helps to achieve this vibe of a child making the movie because it's so low budget. If the budget was higher, if the sets looked better, if the CG looked better, it wouldn't have the same charm to it. Sure, it would technically be better, but it wouldn't be as fun. But it's not totally just a movie that rides on its charm and everything. The fast pace really helps the movie. It keeps it moving along so you're never bored. So I forgot to mention this during the review, but one of the main reasons these movies keep their energy up so much is because Robert Rodriguez always knows how to move the camera and is always either moving the camera or having the characters move around. The blocking is very good. It's all simple stuff, but it's done well, and it really does keep the energy up. And I just wanted to point that out because I forgot to mention it during the actual review. And also, Alan Cumming is hamming it up, and I love it.
You turned my dad into a foobly?
No, I didn't. But I might be able to change him back.
A recurring theme in these movies is respected actors hamming it up and having a great time, and it's fun to watch. So overall, Spy Kids 1 is a fun kids movie. It's very nostalgic for me. I get why it became a series. It really is just could be described as a fun kids movie. I think if you don't like kids movies, you can skip it. There's really nothing here there's really nothing exceptional here, I should say. So yeah. And now we get on to the second one. For some reason, as a kid, I never really liked the second one. I don't know what it was. I would always watch the first one, and I would always watch the third one, but I would never watch the second one. Or I would, but I wouldn't watch it as much. It was the one I watched the least. And I don't really understand why. Because, there are things in this movie I like. The opening is fun. It has that one line by Steve Buscemi that's weirdly philosophical.
Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created? Here on earth? Stop looking at me like that.
And it does sort of capture the spirit of the original. I think it's just mainly the setting, is that I don't really care about this island. I don't know, it just doesn't capture the imagination, really. And also, they take so long to get to it. Most of the movie is underwater and nothing else. And that stuff's fun, but it's also just get to the point. Overall, it's fine. I get why people are nostalgic for it, but I just found less about this one to appreciate. I think this one boils down to nostalgia more so than the first one. It's not as good as the first. And now we get to the reason I made this video. We get to the fucking masterpiece that is Spy Kids 3D Game Over. This movie's awesome, man. Originally, I was just gonna do a review of Spy Kids 3, but then I thought it would make for a better title if I reviewed all of them. So I decided to rewatch all of them and review them. And I'm sure you're gonna be able to tell because the review of Spy Kids 3 is gonna be much longer than any of the other ones. So a lot of this movie has a epic gamer aesthetic, which is great. The opening's kind of fun. Like, I like the whole like pastiche of like noir movies. So there's this new game, right, that's coming out, and Junie, the main guy, the kid, really wants this video game. But the OSS, the spy agency he works for, tells him that the game is actually a trap to hypnotize the youth who play the game and do something with them. I mean, I say that like I didn't understand it, but I'm pretty sure the movie explicitly says that the villain doesn't know what he's gonna do with all the kids' minds.
What I want, what we want. What do we want?
Our time on this planet is over. It belongs now to our youth.
Not if we control their minds.
Oh, we could, like, start the world over again and cure it of its diseases. Yeah, and justifies the means.
Who are you people?
So he goes into this stupid room with all these stupid green hexagons, and they explain to him that he has to go into the game to stop the toy maker, and also that his sister is trapped in the game. Oh, I forgot to mention this part of the movie. So he puts on these glasses, right? And part of the gimmick with this movie is that when the character put on the glasses, you are supposed to put on the glasses. I think they reused this gimmick for Shark Boy and Lava Girl. So a lot of this movie is really annoying 3D showing off, and it's so bad.
Put on these glasses, and you'll enter the world of the game.
You're being sent into a zero-gravity chamber alongside Carmen. That should give you a competitive edge.
Now, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite here, because a couple videos ago, I shat on the fourth Final Destination movie for being like too show-offy with its 3D and annoying. But for some reason here, I think it's because the special effects are worse, that it comes across more kitsch. I don't know, it's just a lot funnier. And then we get into the world, which looks so bad. So bad. It looks so shitty. They try to cover it up with this line.
Computer generated.
But it's hilarious. So then we get these hideous looking frogs. So the rest of this movie, or most of this movie, is just terrible green screen. We get explained that every character has 9 lives, but then once you're dead for good. 9 lives? No continues. What were they thinking?
Oh my god! It's got the Waz.
So then he brings his granddad in, and there's this weirdly actually kind of touching storyline where the granddad is in a wheelchair, but in the game, he can walk and run and he can use his legs again. This whole storyline kind of worked for me. Like, at first I didn't realize it, but then at the end, when it's time to get out of the game, he wants to stay in the game because he can use his legs, and he has to be talked into going back. Like, that was a good moment. I don't know why this worked. Maybe I'm just dumb. Like, maybe I'm just stupid. So he reveals he has a history with the toy maker as well. The cheese is perfect with this movie. The cheese is so great. You have Sylvester Stallone hamming it up.
Valentine, my old friend.
You think you'll catch me this time, don't you? Well, you will. Oh, you will.
You have all the shitty CG backgrounds. You have the lame 3D effects. And honestly, I think that, like, even as a kid, when I didn't appreciate it for, like, ironically, I found this one to be the most fun out of all of them. And I think a reason for that is because it's mostly focused on the kids. Like, in the first two, the parents do play a significant role in the movie. Sure, they're not the main characters, but they're definitely supporting characters. Here, the parents are just cameos. And I think it's a lot more fun for kids to imagine you're going on this adventure than you're going on this adventure with your parents following behind you. Like, that's not as fun. That, and I as a kid, I did love the epic gamer aesthetic. This one is probably the worst if you're looking at it, like, objectively. But who cares about that? This movie's fucking awesome. Oh, he says
High res, now.
which made me roll my eyes, but it is kind of a funny joke. That kid just died. He bounced away. The drama is laughable. Maybe this movie isn't a masterpiece. Maybe I was coming on too strong. So the kids have to duel in this one scene for no reason. Why did you make an ice wall just for the other kid to break through? What was the point?
Dimitri, no!
Fight!
Holy sh! That girl just fucking disintegrated. So then we get the highly memed moment with Elijah Wood where he turns out to be the mythical guy and then immediately gets destroyed. There's a stupid reveal where the love interest is the part of the game.
Congratulations!
So then we get the most epic ending ever. The Avengers Endgame of Spy Kids movies, where all the characters we've seen from the previous movies come in to help them battle the Toymaker. We even get Floop and Minion and somebody call the Jinxter! We get Steve Buscemi, who hilariously gets a cracked pair of 3D glasses. And we get a moment with the grandpa and the Toymaker where they make up, and then it's all about family.
To 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 family.
Family.
To family.
To family. Family.
Family.
Family.
Familia.
To family.
Family.
Overall, terrible, but in a hugely entertaining way. This one I would recommend, because even if you end up hating it, it's such a unique experience that I'd say you should watch it. And that's all the Spy Kids movies. Thanks for watching. Click here to subscribe. Leave a like. Yeah, there's one more. This is when the air is gonna get, the fun is gonna get sucked out of this review right now. The fourth one sucks. The charm is just gone. I think it's partially because so much of the movie is heavily CG'd. And I know that sounds weird given I just praised part 3, which is almost entirely CG. But part of the reason I love the movie is because the CG looks so terrible and dated. But in 2011, when this movie came out, the CG looked fine. Like, even on the low budget, it looked fine. so it doesn't have the charm anymore. And I think that's why, like, when I see clips from We Can Be Heroes or any of Robert Rodriguez's new kids movies, they all look like shit to me. I mean, it's partially because I'm older, but also because, like, the CG, it's not as shitty. Like, make it shittier. There's a talking dog in this one, and it's annoying. Do I have to keep talking about this one? Oh yeah, the gimmick was that it was 4D, so it was 3D normally, but then they gave you a scratch and sniff card where at certain points in the movie it would be like, oh, this baby just shit its diaper. Scratch off number 5 to smell the shitty diaper. And what's fucked up is that we did it. Like, what an experiment. Forget the fucking Milgram experiment. This is the true test of people just accepting authority, is that whenever Spy Kids 4 said to smell the shitty diaper, scratch and sniff, people listened to it and scratched it off, and what do you know, it smelled like shit. So I think I'm gonna wrap that up. It's a boring movie that proves that the series has run out of ideas. So yeah, that was the Spy Kids movie. I got through all of them really quickly, like quicker than I thought I would. I thought I was gonna be here talking to the camera for a long time, but I guess not. I don't know, I just wanted an excuse to meme on Spy Kids 3, and that I did. Thanks for indulging me.